Hi, this is Sarah Presley and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be looking at distracting thoughts. Our minds are designed to process. We are going to think when we're meditating, but sometimes it can drive us crazy with all the incessant thinking and storytelling that goes on inside our heads. And we feel like sometimes we've been sat there for many minutes doing a kind of yo-yo effect of bringing our attention back to the breath or whatever is the focus. You're not alone in thinking that. Everybody goes through this, and even seasoned meditators that have been meditating for years still find that they have that yo-yo effect going on with the fact that they are thinking. And the thing is, we are going to be thinking all the time. Meditation, the art of meditation, is the noticing that we've been distracted. And when we realize that we've been distracted, bringing it back. And that is the training of ourselves within meditation. We are training ourselves to be present. So it's the noticing part that is really important, because that's bringing us back to the present moment. So getting really caught up on I must not think isn't the right way to be. The right way to be is to accept that there's going to be thinking going on. And when we come from that place of acceptance that, yes, sometimes my mind is going to be distracted, then the ride is going to be a lot easier. However, there are different types of thinking that we can have. Sometimes we can have mundane thoughts, and those mundane thoughts are a lot easier to separate from and come back, to the focus. Positive thoughts, though, sometimes we can have a really positive memory, a positive thought process about something that's happening in the future or something that's already happened. And, we can get a little bit lost within those positive thoughts, but also have a little tiny bit of fear that if we let go of this positive feeling, that maybe some negativity might come in behind it. So sometimes we've got to be aware if that's going on as well. And awareness is key. It really is key here. The other part is that we can sometimes fall into negative thinking, the why, the when, the how, and we form quite an attachment to those thoughts. Why was that person like that with me? What does that put, what will happen if I do such and such? And we can really find ourselves going in a little bit of a spiral with those kinds of thoughts. So what we're going to be doing in this meditation is, when we're really aware that we're being distracted by a thought, we're going to give it a label. Now, what happens the moment that you give the thought a label, it offers some separation between yourself and the fact that you've been thinking. In fact, the moment you label it, you no longer are thinking, but it gives you much more choice as well. There is a choice of, do you dive back into the thought, or do you let it go and come back to the breath? So it gives you a lot more power within that moment to be able to let go. So what we're going to be doing in this meditation is, quite simply, every time we feel that we are being distracted by a thought, label it as thinking, and then allow that separation and come back to the breath again. So the breath is the primary focus, and we're not trying to go looking for thoughts or anything, just noticing ones that have naturally arisen and that we're maybe finding that we're creating stories about. So get yourself nice and comfortable now, and close your eyes or put your eyes on a fixed spot of the room. And just be aware of the surface underneath you. Feel the surface underneath your feet. Feel it holding your feet, holding your chair. And allow yourself to rest in the experience. And as you sit, allowing yourself to be held, you might be aware of sounds or temperature or smells, but just allow them to all be there without judging. Just allow it all to exist within your experience today. And start paying attention to your breath coming in and out of your body. aware that you're breathing in, aware that you're breathing out, and that might be at your nose, your chest, your abdomen, or it might even be somewhere else that you notice it in your body. Aware of my breath coming in, aware of my breath going out. Just get behind one breath at a time. Aware of my breath coming in, aware of my breath going out. And it won't be long before we start noticing ourselves becoming distracted. The mind is going to very gently wander away. Maybe start planning, worrying, daydreaming. And this is really normal. It's not a sign to say you can't meditate. It's just the very nature of your mind right now. And the moment you realise that you've been distracted, you can just label as thinking and then come back to your breath. Aware of my breath coming in, aware of my breath going out. And if you become distracted, just simply giving it a label, thinking, and then come back to your breath. It's a bit like staring at the sky, a beautiful blue sky, and watching the clouds going by. You're aware that the clouds are there. And every now and then you might find yourself wanting to drift up to the cloud and be a part of the cloud. Again, realise that this has happened and come back to being the witness. So your mind is the blue sky, and your thoughts are like the clouds, the fluffy white clouds just floating on by. And you realise that they're just visitors. And you're the observer. And your focus is on your breath, being aware of when your breath comes in and aware of when your breath goes out. And just feeling peaceful in this moment. Allowing the moment to be just as it is. This moment that is here. This moment that develops, arises, and then passes on by. And a thought is just a thought, and it's not who you are, it's just visiting. you're feeling distracted, just being aware of that, naming it as thought, and then coming back to your breath. Aware of my breath coming in, aware of my breath going out. Some thoughts are joyful, some can be uncomfortable, but no matter, the moment you realise that you've been distracted, label as thought, and then come back to your breath. Now bringing your awareness back to your feet on the ground, your breath at your nose, and gently open your eyes. Excellent, well done. And might have found that hard, you might find it easy, and that's just your experience today. And it could be though that you find that what you're doing already, which is just when you realise, just coming back, is okay without the labelling. So you don't have to do the labelling, it's not something that is required, but it's for people who find that their mind is so distracted that actually the label allows that separation. So go with what feels good for you within your meditation practice, but sometimes know that in your toolkit, that labelling, that separation could just be a moment of time that really helps your practice. And remember, it is a practice. So thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to sharing more meditation with you again. Lots of blessings to you. Goodbye.